Okay, Barrett, this is my third take of this video. I'm trying to, it's drawing me someplace. I'm trying to come to this balance between kind of just playing a little bit for you and then also being instructional. Okay, so take three. I hope that you get to feeling better soon. Your mom said you're not feeling good, so I was really looking forward to playing with you. So I thought, well, I'll just make a video for him. So yeah, man, I hope you get to feeling better soon. You do cool stuff, percussive stuff with your right hand. You can just start with the coming down and then catching those strings with your fingernails. You can rake it. And you can strum with your index finger. Just start figuring stuff out to do. Yeah. Well, this is proving to be a bigger challenge than I thought. I'm thinking about creating quality content for you now. I'm like, man, there's so many. I need to get different camera angles. I gotta get a different camera in here closer. So then I gotta get some graphics pointing to my. I'm thinking about if I really want to do this well, I'm gonna have to. There's a lot more I need to do. So yeah, I guess that's a good thing, isn't it? Because maybe these videos might be helpful. I don't know. I have been looking for something, to try to be helpful on YouTube before. So anyway, yeah, Barrick, that's take 3. I wonder if I've got another take in me. Let's see. Organized information. Maybe it doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe it's just kind of like, really, I'm just kind of showing up and I'm just saying hi. I guess that's what I'm doing. Yeah. It doesn't have to be perfect, does it? The music doesn't really have to be perfect. Now, sometimes we get in this place where we can work on the intensity of our practice, and we can try to, there are ways that we can joyfully discipline ourselves to try to approach perfection in our music. Yes? It is a thing. We put ourselves into situations where we need to learn things that the music insists of us a greater level than we're currently capable of. Yes? And so what that does is that sometimes can take us up to the next place, right? Just depending on what you want to do with your music, like we've talked about in the past, right? There is that place in music where we can become social with it. Some people don't like to be social with their music. Some people choose to just keep their guitar, in their living room, and that's perfectly acceptable. That's fine. But some people decide to become social with their music, and even if it's just in small groups, it doesn't mean you have to get up on stage. But just like meeting other musicians and then trying to establish a playing relationship with them, that is a human social challenge, right? You're taking a second language, and you're going to meet another human who is trying to learn that same language, and you're trying to have a conversation, right? So that's kind of how you might think of social music. Yes, it's important. What our intention is with the music. That's what I'm trying to say. What is our intention with the music? And we want, here are my guidelines. I want the music to, I want to serve with my music somehow. I want to allow the music to serve the situation. That's kind of my personal goal right? Is I want, and how can music be in service? One way I love to be in service with my music is to play joyfully, right? And whenever I share my joy on my instrument, sometimes that communicates something to someone, right? And there have been times when people have come up to me, even years after a show and said, I remember seeing you that one night there, and man, I just didn't want that to stop. That was a wonderful night of music. That was, one man said that to me, and oh my gosh, yeah. Thanks for saying that, Nacho. That was nice to hear. So we do have that. I think for me, it's a responsibility at this point to share that. It's a calling on my life to teach, to share my music, our music, to share our music, to find our music together is really kind of the goal, I think. But personally, I need to share the knowledge that I have and to allow that to just to allow the music to have its work in me, and then to be responsible in the sharing of that music. Yes. There's a lot of different ways we can look at it. But I encourage you to discover for yourself what you might like to do with your music. Maybe you just want to play by yourself. Maybe you want to become social with your music. Maybe you want to try to bring joy to others with your music. They're all very personal choices. But we can have an experience with our instrument nonetheless, right? We can have an honest experience. We can have a disciplined experience, a joyful, a devoted experience with our instrument. We can develop. This may be our first love. This was, a guitar. I definitely had I have a loving relationship with my guitar. I'm grateful for this instrument. There are things to learn. There are patterns. There are scales. When I say patterns, you know what I'm talking about, right, Barrick? It's like where we start to see the shapes on the X and Y axis, right? We start to see these shapes, and so I enjoy knowing these shapes because they help me to be a reliable player, right? We need to be playing by ear also. We want to know what we're playing. For instance, something like that. We want to be able to sing. We'd like to be able to sing what we're playing. It's nice. Right. That's a nice goal to be able to have. It connects you with your instrument. My teacher, Joe Bob, he told me, I remember him once saying, I've forgotten more than I can play now, and the more I learn, the more I understand how much I don't know. And I think that's fair. It is. It seems infinite. At least it may as well be infinite concerning this one lifetime. Yes. But it's lovely. I couldn't really play very well. Honestly, it felt like I couldn't pick up stuff by ear, and I knew guys who could. They were much better than me. Jason Academy was much better than me, and so I was just like, "What's it all made of?" That's a smart question, right? It's an ancient question, one that's been being asked for at least 2,500 years. Like, what's it all made of? You know, I think probably much longer. It's been being asked than that, but. What's it made of? So my friend, he gave me these 5 diatonic patterns, which I can lay on you. I can show you those later. I'm not going to do them on camera here. So we play these scales. Or this is how it worked for me. I played these scales, and then I liked, first of all, I just liked the way, my fingers felt when I was playing the scales. And there was a certain satisfaction that came in adding that muscle memory. There was just something really satisfying about coming back to this instrument over and over and over again, and like getting to where my fingers really knew what they were doing, you know. And I think you said that last time I saw you, like your fingers are getting smarter, or they're learning, or isn't that a wonderful feeling? Yes. And so I just would run those scales for a lot. I liked the way they sounded. They sounded this, and so they started to sound like music to me, you know. And then over time, after you learn enough, you learn songs in these patterns, and then you start to kind of gain an intuition for how these patterns work. We start writing songs of our own. For me, that was a big part of it, is writing songs of my own. I really loved writing songs. That really inspired me. I mean, I would take something from here, like a little part of something from here, and get really inspired by it, or just put my fingers just in the right place on the guitar at the right time. And I was like, oh wow, that was cool. I want to do that again. I want to do that all the time. I don't want to ever stop doing that. And then sometimes it would become a whole song, you know, which is pretty cool if you think about it. Yeah, you get these all these creations, you know, that you can. There are these creations that have like a little part of you in them. They're never like perfectly original, because we're always. This is a wonderful thing about music, is we're always borrowing from each other, and like ideas and licks and chord progressions. It's just all kind of out there, and we're all learning it from each other. And when we write music, it's always in some sense borrowed from somewhere, something in it. Generally, sometimes there's a sound that comes along. Somebody creates a sound. It's like, oh my God, like Rush or Queen, Ray Charles. You know, that we can name so many people that are recognizable on their instrument. Miles Davis, right? I mean, like a Master of Space. You know, you hear him. Or John Coltrane. Oh my goodness, yeah, he sounds like John Coltrane. He made a sound, you know. And then him and Elvin Jones and Reggie Workman and McCoy Tyner. You know, they made this sound that had never been heard before. They weren't, and they were standing on the shoulders of giants already, right? It's this wonderful. It is a social. Music is a social experience, right? It's a thing that we do with, and for, and around one another, and we're speaking to each other. It's a language. It is a language. So we need to try to be respectful with our language and helpful with our language. As just as when we're speaking with people, we want to encourage them. We want to build them up. We want to let them know that we see them, right? We want to let them know that we're listening to them. We want to help people like this. Yes, we want to be as encouraging as we possibly can in our speech, and also with our music. Yes, so we want to allow the spirit of love to speak to us in all of these affairs, right? Our practice time can become something like a prayer, really. It's a discipline. It is a devotion. It can be however you want it to be. It can be however you like it to be. It can be however, it can be so many different ways. But I like to speak of this kind of inspiration because this is where I find my life right now. I don't demand of anyone that their music is a spiritual practice for them, but my music is. This music is for me. Music is the place where I first found hope in my life, real deep hope and vision and for the future. And the patterns on the neck spoke to me. I believe that love, God was speaking to me in the learning of this instrument, in the friends that I made. I mean, so many friends, so many people, so many connections made through music, friends that I never would have known had it not been for music, and definitely would have never spent so much time with some of them, right? So music for me is a sacred experience, and teaching is a sacred experience, and I am so honored to be able to share any information and devotion that I can with you and hopefully other students who are out there in the future. Okay. Barak, please get to feeling better soon, and hopefully I will see you soon.